So, Samuel McGurk,
Hi, Luke.
that's your name.
Yeah. I do think if someone really loves a country, they could spend a year in it. You know, they could take a gap year and spend time in it. But for me, the next calling was to start working and start a job and almost start my life in Hungary, which is more costly. But I love the people and the mission, and that's what drives me.
What I'm getting from what you're saying is that the calling of God provided context for your surrender, and the calling of God provided the motivation for your surrender, and the calling of God provided the joy for you to then give your surrender. And even in the surrendering of your life, because of who you're surrendering to, that was a joy.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to those in GCSEs right up until those who are in uni or coming out of uni? That whole area of life, that whole chronology. What would you say to them?
My third piece of advice is about a contentment. And I would have never put myself in Romania and Hungary. A few years ago, I would have never saw myself moving there. And I'm going to take words from Paul where he says he's learnt the secret to be content in every and any situation. And this last year, I've never felt so content and fulfilled in my life. And my last piece of advice is about a conviction. And like I said, I felt very convicted. And if you have a conviction for a country or a group of people or a cause or a charity, I really encourage you to hold on to that.
From the podcast title, you've noticed it reads GCSEs, A-levels, uni, get a job, get married, get a dog and die. Or is there another option? And our exhortation, our encouragement, and the purpose of this podcast is for you to not conform to the world that says that this is the only chronology that exists for the life of people. We need to just stop being people who tell people what the will of God is, and we actually need to be people who just live out the will of God.